Hi everybody, it's Jen from Scrap and Polish, and I am here with my tutorial for this 2x2 by 1 inch mini album. I said it in the last one. I'm going to say it again. This is not a practical mini album, but it is super cute. So I have only scraps left from my Alice's Tea Party collection. So I thought I would go ahead and make this. Now, okay, everybody, when I say I have nothing but scraps left of the collection, let me show you what I mean. I have these 3 pieces of larger paper. This is one full 8x8. Woohoo! And then the rest are, these are the cut parts, but on the back of these, I have pattern paper, and then these are the journaling cards. So I still have some of those. I have some more over there. And then as far as this is paper that I had left over from the teacup. I didn't use that color in my albums, but it come out okay. And then this is a big piece of paper. These 2 are fairly large. And then the rest are strips. So we're going to have some cards. Okay, so when I start these albums, and that's the 8x8, the 4x8, the 4x4, and the 2x2, I start with 2 pieces of 12x12 cardstock. If you make all these albums, you will not throw anything except, I think, a 1x2 piece of cardstock, or not cardstock, chipboard away. So head on over to ASC, get your medium weight chipboard. This is ASC Supplies, or ASC Craft Supplies design team project. Like most of my projects, I get my paper from there. So we're going to start with these 2 2x2 pieces of chipboard, 1 1x2 pieces of chipboard, and then I just cut a 4-inch strip of 12-inch black cardstock. This is just black 65-pound cardstock. I haven't bought any of Crystal's cardstock from ASC Supplies just because I have so much of this. I use Michael's 65-pound cardstock, and it works really well. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take my little pieces of chipboard and use the score tape on them. Typically I only do like a border, but there's not a lot here, so we're just going to go ahead and cover this little piece of chipboard. There's some 1/2-inch score tape. I think I'm out of score tape on that. There's a 1/4-inch score tape. I am running dangerously low on score tape, so I'm going to have to get some more. If you guys haven't seen the new Vagabond Aviator collection, head over to the shop at the ASC Supplies on Etsy, asccraftsupplies.com. Wow. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. And now I'm struggling because I have Sir Vagabond, Lady Vagabond, the Lady Vagabond Lifestyle, whatever it's called. I have Japan, Vagabond, Sir Vagabond in Japan, or Lady Vagabond in Japan. I have all these collections, and I don't know whether to mix them or not. I'm like, they're so similar, but they're so different, and I love the steampunk vibe of them. And I want to make steampunk teacups. I think that would be really neat. So I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Should I keep the collection separate, or should I kind of go all in? I went all in on the Stamperia Alice collection, and some people asked what I started with, and I'm like, a lot, because I couldn't remember what papers I had started with. And much like this collection, I got a lot of different things from those. I'm just going to put this in the lower, give yourself about a 1/2 inch. I know it's a smaller album, but you still have to give yourself the same amount of room around your cover. And you still have to give yourself the same room between your spine and your little cover pages. So we use a 1/4 inch piece of score tape to space that. It's just the easiest way I found, and it works double duty, don't forget, because then when you put your paper down in there, it gives it something to stick to, so your spine doesn't stick up, it goes down into the crevice. And that's what you're looking for. That's what you want. So I'm pretty excited. Today is Tuesday the something or other, the 10th. And tomorrow we get the floor finished in the other room in the basement. And when that happens, upon completion, I shall move the stuff out of my craft room that shouldn't be here. And that will give me a chance to finish my craft room. I have videos that I've just been waiting so that I can do like this huge reveal for months now. It's going to be old news by the time I even get it posted. But you'll have that, I suppose. That's me. I'm always behind. Always behind. Okay. So now I do not need all this room here. I'm going to cut off, leaving about 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. Give yourself room, okay? Don't cut it too short. Same on top. Okay. And then I'm going to go sideways, sideways. You see mine is not straight at all, and that's fine, because we're going to cover up everything. You want to give yourself, when you're cutting sideways like this, you want like an 1/8 inch between there. Hopefully that's enough that it won't stick out, but it's enough that it will cover. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to put some big score tape around this because of it being so small, there's less to stick to. So we want it to be a little extra heavy duty. So I'm going to take off these two and then just go around the outside of the album with this 1/2 inch score tape. Crystal has all sizes of score tapes. I don't know that she has any of the big ones left. I have some of the big ones. But she has 1/2 inch, 3/8, 1/8, 1/4 inch. So whatever a lot of people use the 3/8 score tape because they use like 1/2 inch hinges, but I just use the 1/2 inch because it doesn't really matter if it goes a little bit outside lines, because you're just sticking something to it. Just my thoughts. I have most of my pages pre-cut, guys, so yay. You won't have to sit there and watch me fumble through it. Okay, and now I'm just going to take off one long side and then the 2 short sides. So we got to get this sucker to stick. I have my blue Distress Oxide out. I think I may use that on this one because it came out really good on the teacup. Not all my papers are blue though, but I'm okay with that. Okay, so now same thing with big albums. You just use that album base to give yourself a sharp edge. Fold that over and crease. Okay, now that that one's done, we're going to go ahead and take off the top. And we're going to do the same thing. Fold that over, crease, crease. Just push that in. Whenever I'm pushing down and like making this stick, I always pull into the paper giving me a nice flat edge. And then we're going to do the sides the same way. If your sides start to poke out, just stick your fingernail or bone folder in there. Make them kind of calm down a little bit. If you only use the 1/8 inch, it shouldn't be that bad. You do the same thing with that one. And then again, I'm just going to push down here where my little nubbies are sticking out. And then we're just going to fold that under. Okay, I'm going to be using the stack the page system, so one thing that has to be done is I have to cover this section, whatever's not going to be covered with a pattern paper, with a piece of black cardstock. So since this book is 2 inches, we're going to go 1 3/4 is fine because we have plenty of room there. By let's go 2.5. It's not gonna hurt anything. Like a little extra is not gonna hurt anything. So I'm gonna do, just out of this scrap piece of paper, I'm gonna do 1 by 2.5. Or no, what did I say? 1 3/4 by 2.5. And then I'm just gonna put score tape all across the back of that. It's gonna be holding our pages in. I feel like score tape is a little more flexible than glue once it dries. This is why I use a lot of score tape. Okay. But just on the cover, then I switch to glue. Okay. I think I do want to go all the way to the edge. Doesn't matter if you go all the way to the edge on the long side because you're going to cover that with pattern paper, but I need to go all the way to the edge on the top there. Okay, now when you place this spine cover, just place it straight in the middle of your spine and don't push down yet. Looks good to me. Start in the middle, push down. With the dull side of your bone folder, start going over until you hit the crease. And then you want to go down into the crease. If you don't have a dull side of your bone folder, try your finger, try the edge of your scissors. You just want to try and find something that won't break through your paper, but will still get down in that crease. I've found that the back side of the EK Success bone folder, EK Success? EK Tools bone folder is good for that, because then when you fold your paper or your book, your little hills go in instead of sticking out, because we just stuck them to that score tape, or spacer tape. Dog hair. Okay, that's good. Okay, so let's make some pages. So I have all the inside pages cut, and because this is only a 1-inch spine, I have three pages cut, and they're not all the same size. So this one's short. This one is about 4.5 by 1 3/4. Yeah, and I scored it at 1 3/4 by 2 3/4, giving you a 1-inch spine. So that gives you 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 pages on this. I always fold hill in. Doo-doop, doo-doop. This is such a small piece of paper, it doesn't matter much. Okay. And there's not a lot of pages on this, but we'll just add some. And I use wet glue for this part. On this part, you just want to make sure that you get, I just made a mess. Just want to make sure that you get to the edge. And I mean, it'll spread out a little bit, but this is going to make a mess. So, okay, now I have glue all over me. Okay. Now, what you do is you just stick this page right in the middle of your spine. And then you can lay it flat. You can make sure your pages are straight that way, because your margin at the top and bottom on each side will be straight. And you have a perfect page. Oh, because we left that score tape there, you just got to make sure that you don't stick your pages to anything they shouldn't be stuck to until we get that taken care of. Your next page is a little off. It's a little offset, so you have one small page and one bigger page. I got hot glue. Okay, so this one's 1 3/4 by 3 1/2, 3 5/8. It doesn't really matter. It just depends on what size page you want. This one's scored at 1 3/4 and 2 1/2. So that's you'll have a 1/4 inch on each side. We're going to fold that hill down or hill up, depending on how you're holding your paper. And then let's do the short page to the back, I think. And this one just nests right in between your other one. And actually, I think you only have an 1/8 inch between these. I must have only done a 1/2 inch. Oh, I must have only done a 1/4 inch difference. Yeah, so you only have an 1/8 inch between those, except for in the middle, you're going to have a 1/2 inch. I'm having problems with dog hair right now because of the extra tape that's in the middle. So this last page that we're going to put on measures 3 3/4 by 1 3/4, and I scored it 1 1/2 and 2. We can put another page in here and only give it a 1/4 inch gusset, but we can just add some, it'll be fine. I'm gonna cap that. And these pages are a 1/4 inch difference, which is fine. And I'm just going to put the short page towards the front because I put the short page to the back here. And I just totally got glue all over this page. Sorry guys, it's 5 a.m. I am not fully coordinated yet, apparently. Okay. So there is our little book with pages, and I tried to mimic the book, this book that I did, because you guys wanted a tutorial for it. That means that I should make it the same or similar. So the cool thing about this is that most of it is just, you know, paper that you have laying around. So this one was just a scrap piece of paper. It measures about 7/8 of an inch. You can go 1/2 inch, you can go 5/8, and it measures 2 3/4. I scored it a 1/2 inch on each side, and this is going to be our first pocket here. So we just glue both sides and then the bottom, or the side, depending on how you want to look at it. I think that's dry enough now. And then, just like a big mini album, maybe I should zoom you in. Okay, just like a big mini album, you just put it right up against the edge. This one I'm using the inside edge, giving yourself about a 1/16 of an inch. You just have to hold it down just a little bit longer because the paper's smaller. It wants to pop up. So there's our first page, and this is so small, that's all you're going to do to it. Now our second page, it looks like I have a little flap here. So for my flap, I did a 2 1/8, and again, it was just what I had laying around, by 1 3/4. So this flap's actually going to cover the entire, it's going to look like another page altogether. And you can do corner punches on this, but it's so small, I don't know that you want to do a quarter punch. Okay, so here's our actual little page. I'm going to open him up. We're going to leave this one blank. And I'm going to put this page right on the edge of that one. And again, leave yourself like a 32nd of an inch between your spine and this page. Let's see what we got next. See how fast this is going. Oh, I put it on the wrong side. This one's on this side, but that's okay. We have one plain and one not. Okay, so I have this little belly band next. So, and the little tag that sticks out of it, and we'll decorate here in a minute. That'll be fun. So the belly band that I chose, and I think I may have to cut another one because I've lost it. So the pages are 1 3/4. So we're going to cut it to 2 3/4. So let's find a scrap out of our, whoops. Let's find a scrap. And I have lots of scraps. So let's use, this one's pretty big. So I'm just going to use this scrap here. And if you guys didn't have a bunch of scraps left over from an album already, this is going to use less than probably like an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. So there's not a lot of product in here, which is why it's nice to wait until the end. So this one, like I said, I cut it 2 3/4. I scored it at a 1/2 inch, and this is a 1 inch strip. So it's not going to be as big as that other one, but use what you have. And then it's a belly band, so we're just going to glue on both sides. And he's going to go on the back side of, I think, this page, which this is the page that we added, and this is going to go on the back side of the actual page, not what we added. With something this small, you want some blank pages so that if you do decide to do something with it, you actually have room to put things. So next, there's our little belly band. I have another little half page sticking out here, and I think I'll use this one. So this is a 2 inch by 1 1/2 inch, and I scored at a 1/2 inch on the 2 inch side. So we're just going to stick this right in the middle of the page, and it's going to go right across from the belly band. And because that page was kind of like that short page, it actually lines up with the page underneath it, which is fine. Okay, so now we have that little page added. Now this is the inside page. I did a double pocket, but I did it for a 1 3/4 inch page, and this is not a 1 3/4. So let's remeasure. Okay, so I'm going to take my 2 1/2 inch. We're going to score it a 1/2 inch on both sides. If you guys ever wonder what I'm doing off to the side, I have my scoreboard that way, and I have my Caterpillar that way. Caterpillar is my favorite cutter. And if you don't know what it is, I have it in my Amazon store. So make sure the dry fit up, and it fits, and it's just a tiny little pocket because it's only a 1 1/2 inch page. Guess I could have probably executed that better to make sure I had full-size pages in the middle, but it's okay. So this is going to stick. There's pocket number 1 for the middle. And then pocket number 2 is 1 3/4. So the pockets are 7 and 7, not 7 and 7/8, 7/8 of an inch tall. Okay, here we go. I've had these pages cut for a couple days, so I may have lost a couple. I did. Okay, so there's that. Now I have this little short page. I think I'm just gonna keep it a little short page, because I can do something like this. I can add the rest of the page. We're just going to keep it a little short page. On the back, let's go ahead and add a long page to it. And so this is 1 3/4 by 2 1/8. And we scored it at a 1/2 inch on the 2 1/8 inch side. And I'm just going to add another little page to the back of it. Okay, extra page there. And then I have a very small belly band. And we have a little tuck spot we can use on one of them. Another small page, and that's really the extent of the different pages. So I have a tiny belly band. I'll go ahead and use that. Which this one I kept black and just added a little cut apart, so I thought it looked pretty neat. We'll just do that again. And we'll put it on the back of, we'll put it on the front here. This one. And the only thing that, whoops, it wasn't dry. I'm trying to get it not to stick to the cover where the score tape's leaching out of from underneath the cover. Oh, leaching's not the right word. It's not leaching. It's just there. Okay, so one thing I want to do that I didn't, I think this one was supposed to be like a vertical flap, so let's go ahead and add a vertical flap to 1 1/2 by 2. We're going to stick him right next to this little half page, but you can put him wherever you want. Okay, here we go. I'll put him up at the top. Alright, I think that's enough. Yeah, that's it. Doesn't take very long. The worst part is it's, cutting out all the little things. Can be a little tedious, I guess. Now let's get to decorating. On the first one, on the Alice one, I did some chipboard elements. I don't know that they have the same chipboard elements on this one, so I would like to use some because I haven't used any yet, but let's look. On the Graphic 45 chipboard, you just want to sand off the little nubs. And then use a black marker. Okay guys, so that's how you make your mini album, and I'm going to decorate the pages with my scraps and I'll show it, but I'm just going to do a time lapse. So enjoy some of the best YouTube free music I can find. And head on over to ASC Supplies on Etsy or asccraftsupplies.com. If you have any questions about how I decorate it and you couldn't tell what I was doing, just ask in the comments below. And we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches. heartache stack, restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose, what do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need, what you need. We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic, believe you could have it. And I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness. So tell me, oh, will you believe? So tell me, oh, will you believe? So tell me, oh, will you believe? So tell me, oh, will you
Okay, so here we go. It's all finished. This is a 2x2 by 1 inch mini album. Your first page is a horizontal pocket page. We made some flaps. And then I have a belly band here. I used one of the fussy cuts I did with a little booklet. Another small page. I fussy cut one of the teacups and I just put a little tag behind that. I cut the back of the the journaling tags package and took the little images and made little tags out of them. This is one of the ephemera pieces. Flap. A horizontal flap. This little piece, this is from the back of the journaling tags again. It just holds a little booklet in it, teeny tiny. Slide that behind there. And then another belly band. It's a little smaller, and I put one of the ephemera pieces on it. And then this back page has a pocket with a little black piece of paper tag and one of the little booklets made out of the back of the journaling cards. So there you go. There you have it, the 2x2 by 1 inch mini album and tutorial. I hope you enjoy it and hang out for some more cool projects. We'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.